Welcome back to Fifth Block Sports. We had a lot of moving parts in college basketball over the weekend and kind of into the week. We also got another wild weekend of NFL Divisional Playoff football. We'll break down all four of those games, and then we'll share with our three kind of biggest takeaways from this weekend. Again, like always, there's a number of ways to listen to us and watch us. So go check us out on YouTube, Twitter, and then gonorthman.org/podcast. And while you're on the gonorthman.org/podcast website, go ahead and check out The Chop. It is our Oak Park sports exclusive podcast. They're full of interviews, stories, and recaps. Their latest show was with Big Coach Ant. He's got a great story to tell. I love listening to it. So go check that out. Again, that's The Chop, brought to you by All Access and Into Sports. But once again, this is Fifth Block Sports. Let's get this show rolling. Let's jump right into things with some college basketball. I know it's not Jalen's forte, but he's going to be here for it. We have college basketball. Let's start off with, because we both hate Kansas. Kansas suffers their third straight loss. They lost to K-State on the road, TCU at home, and then again last night at Baylor. All Big 12 games, which is huge for the Big 12 standings because that conference is very tough this year, I think.
Yeah, 3 losses. In the conference
early too, and there's 5-6 ranked teams in the Big 12 right now.
Yeah, and they still have to do like all their round trips to anywhere they haven't been.
Yeah, it's a tough conference, and losing those 3 games opens up a spot for TCU or K-State or even Baylor to kind of sneak in and at least get a share of the Big 12 title.
K-State's already sneaking in.
They're already foot in the door.
Yeah, we're already leading, like not even tied with anyone. We're just lead.
There we go. And again, that's KU's third straight, fourth loss on the season. They lost to Tennessee as well, kind of early in the season, but dropping 3 straight is very unlike Kansas basketball, but I'm sure as a Wildcat and as a Tiger, I love to see it. Keep losing. Speaking of Tigers, my Missouri Tigers continue to struggle. They struggled this weekend against Alabama, getting beat by 20. Kobe Brown kind of sat out with an ankle injury in this one, so I didn't expect the Tigers to compete really with him being out. He's their go-to guy when they need a bucket, and with him out, it wasn't there, and it showed. They continue to struggle from behind the three-point line, but the upside is standout guard Isaiah Mosley is starting to see more time on the floor. Kind of weird start to this season. There was games he wasn't there. There's games that he didn't even get in. There was a lot of speculation on what was going on kind of behind the scenes and why he wasn't playing. But I'm glad to see him in because he can ball. He's a natural scorer. They need a guy like that to complement Kobe Brown on the offensive end. When they need a bucket, they can kind of turn to him. So we'll see how that goes. Again, they travel to Ole Miss tonight to take on the Rebels. They haven't fared too well in SEC play so far. Again, they need a bounce-back game, and I think they can get this one at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is nothing flashy. Kobe Brown should be back. Good for this one, so we'll be at full strength. It's just going to come down to our shooting and our three-point ability to be able to knock down shots tonight, which we haven't done in the past couple of games. Ashton, what do you got on the K-State side?
So K-State, they played Texas Tech on Saturday. We won.
That game was close for a little bit.
It was close, and then about 5 minutes to go, we kind of pulled out, and then it was just kind of us to the end. But we got a big game against Iowa State, and if they wouldn't have lost on Saturday to Oklahoma State, it'd be a race, or it'd be a game to decide the number 1 seed in the Big 12. But if they can win, I believe now that they can tie it with us, so that's big for them.
Yeah.
Big game. Iowa State's a really good team. They almost beat Kansas at Allen.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago. So they're definitely they're top 15 in the country. But a big thing for me is I think Desi Steele, he's got to start this game. He's got to. He's been playing lights out the last 2 games. He's been crucial in those last 2 wins against Kansas, and did good against Tech. And then who did we play before? I think it was
another Big 12 game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
West Virginia, maybe.
No. I think it maybe wouldn't have been. I think it was actually just Kansas, but it was the game before Kansas. He was big into. But yeah, anyway, he's got to start. I love Kim Carter. I want him to do well here, but I just think Desi's kind of outplayed him, and I think he's got to start tonight.
And again, if you didn't catch it, Houston loses to Temple. And I see we noted here, scoring's been an issue for Houston. They're elite on the defensive end, but if they don't score, they kind of find themselves in these kind of dogfight of games. And they really get in some trouble if they can't buy a basket. Yeah, they can keep teams to 50, 60 points, but they're right around there too.
Yeah, I feel like unlike a couple of years ago when they had Quentin Grimes, they don't have like that go-to.
Yeah, they don't have that score.
They don't have that score like Quentin was, and I think they desperately missed him, and that's a big reason why they lose these games are so close. Is because they just don't have the offense.
Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, if they can get that figured out, they are a team that can make a deep run with the defense they have. They've got lockdown defense.
I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but I think because Houston and all them, UCF and Cincinnati, all them are coming to the Big 12, that's going to make that conference even.
Yeah, it's going to booster up that conference.
I know it's happening for football, but I believe it's also going to happen for... I think it's
a full switch.
Yeah.
Which will be good. And then something to look forward to for your college basketball junkies out there is we have the SEC Big 12 Challenge this Saturday, January 28th. A couple of games to highlight here. We have Florida traveling to K-State. That's kind of a revenge game for your boy Keontae Johnson there. Kansas at Kentucky, so Kansas finds himself on the road against, not your average Kentucky. They're struggling, but it is at Rupp Arena in Kentucky. So
and that crowd's gonna be rocking since Kansas has been losing.
Yeah, that's gonna come down to the wire. I just feel like that's one of those games.
Great game.
Iowa State at Missouri. This Iowa State team's no joke. They're playing some very good basketball in a very tough conference. The good thing for Missouri is it is a home game. I think this one is also going to be a dogfight. It wouldn't surprise me if Missouri loses the way we're shooting right now. But again, if we shoot lights out, like I said, we're 13-0 when scoring above 70 points on the season. So if they can get that offense in rhythm, that'll give them a chance to win.
I would say real quick on the Kentucky game, they're coming off 3 straight wins.
They are kind of picking
Kansas,
up their pace a little bit.
Yeah, and their first win was against Tennessee and then Georgia, and then they just beat A&M.
Yeah.
So that's big for them. It is. I think they got Vanderbilt tonight, which they should handle.
Should.
But I feel like in those games, like the Iowa State Missouri games, like kind of those teams that are like really close to each other. Those games are always close, and you never can like.
They're always good basketball too. I love when the conferences kind of go up against each other. Some years you get blowouts, but as of late, all those games have been kind of marquee. Great basketball games.
That's what I like about like the Iowa State Missouri game is that like there's a lot of Iowa State fans here and there's a lot of Missouri fans here, so that's nice.
You get both sides, yeah. And then the last one to wrap up that we wanted to highlight was Texas at Tennessee. Again, another ranked matchup as the Longhorns take on the Volunteers. That should be a good one as well.
Yeah, Tennessee's going to need to get a good win, and Texas is going to need to get a good win. So they both in need of a win, which is nice. So
whoever wins that game, that's going to be kind of one of those resume building wins come tournament time to get that higher seed is, wins against, a Big 12 or an SEC ranked opponent. Those go a long way, I feel like, with the bracketology guys. So
Kentucky beating Tennessee, who was 5 at the time, and then Georgia, A&M, and then beating Kansas. That'd be big for them too.
Yeah. So again, that was our kind of college basketball sprinkle, I would say. If you want to hear more college basketball, please let us know on our Twitter. We love talking college basketball. But yeah, we just need more content. So if you want to hear something or hear about a team, let us know, and we can definitely get that on the show. But now for the main reason we're here, Jalen's already licking his chops. It's football time. Let's start with our NFC games just because the AFC was such a big weekend. The NFC were kind of 2, I guess, snoozer games. So we'll go through those first, and then we'll jump to the AFC. So the first game we're going to talk about here, we have Eagles 38, Giants 7. Do you want me to just run through the stats first, and then we can go over it?
Sure.
Let's do that. So Kenneth Gainwell had 12 rushes for 112 yards. Miles Sanders had 17 rushes for 90 yards. Hurts threw for 154 and a touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown, about 30-ish rushing yards. Barkley only 9 rushes for 61 yards. All Eagles all day. They look like the best team out of the weekend, I think, the most complete team. But yeah, just no answer from the Giants. Ashton, what do you get out of this one?
Yeah, they definitely looked like the most complete team, but they were also playing the worst team.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, but like I said, they didn't get Saquon going. The Giants didn't get Saquon going.
Yep.
And it proved to be, and I think people were a little overreacting that Daniel Jones game. It was against the Vikings, which are they're a bottom 20 defense. You know, they're one of the worst defenses.
Make any quarterback look good.
Yeah, they were the worst defense in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So I definitely don't. I think it was a little much of a talking.
And that was the note I had too. Is I think Giants organization saved themselves some money in this game. You know, I think if Daniel Jones keeps this game close and plays like he did last week against that awful Vikings defense, he finds himself with a hefty paycheck at the end of this year and kind of moving forward. But the way he played, you know, do the Giants hold on to Daniel Jones? Is he their quarterback? I think he did enough this year to kind of prove himself. But at the same time, I know there's people sitting back there like, how far can he take us with all these young guys? Like, I mean, you're going up against Jalen Hurts every year in and year out. You're going up against, you know, a Justin Fields year in and year out. Is Daniel Jones that guy that can kind of keep this Giants team rolling?
It's not even that, though. Like, it's like, what if you say somehow you do get against past the NFC? Then you got Mahomes, Herbert, you got Lawrence, who's going to be a monster in a couple of years. Burrow, Allen, you got all these great quarterbacks. Like, if we went through, you know, the AFC Championship, say we beat Jaguars and Lawrence was playing pretty well, and then we say we beat the Bengals on Sunday, and then say like in the Super Bowl is against the Giants, like we're going to be.
Yeah,
we would probably, some people wouldn't even watch it.
And their defense is not the Giants' defense is not that good.
It's not.
I mean,
bad.
really think their D line carries them. I'm not gonna lie. Dexter Lawrence and
Thibodeau.
That roster's bad.
Yeah,
it's a bad.
They gotta fix the corner situation.
They're kind of in like a rebuild in disguise. I feel like.
Oh, they're in a rebuild. They just got really lucky this year.
Yeah, and I mean they did what they did, and to get where they were, like props to them. But at the same time, like you were talking about, they're in the middle of a rebuilding. Do you kind of hold on to that quarterback spot, or do you let it go? I think what makes the Giants, and they never get far because they hold on to things.
You go.
I say for right now, I'd say you hold on to Daniel Jones because what pick they have in the draft?
It's not.
It's not
15.
great.
It's not top 15. It's like top 20, I think.
I say for right now, you hold on to Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I think they have to maybe pay him this offseason. I can't remember.
I say like a 2-year deal.
Daniel and I don't know. Maybe they could do the 5th year because he was a first-round pick.
An option, yeah.
But Daniel and Saquon are both due contracts, and if you don't
keep Saquon,
if you don't keep Saquon, then what's the point of keeping Jones?
Yeah.
But I want to go back to what you were saying. If the Giants probably established more of the running game, the play actions probably could have worked too.
Yeah, I think they just. Their game plan didn't work out with Philly kind of coming out early, and they were kind of forced to throw the ball. And at that point, you're putting a lot of trust in Daniel Jones and a terrible wide receiving core. Like, I don't think I can name.
Hey, don't get me wrong.
Two Giants wide receivers.
I would say this is
the Eagles defense.
They're good.
Yeah, but I would say this is a perfect game for Jalen Hurts to come back.
Oh yeah,
against the Giants, this is a perfect game for him to come back. Not too hard.
Yep.
But it's gonna get him. You know,
he didn't have to strain himself. Yep. It wasn't on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And for them to handle it like they did, where he did get a little bit of rest too, I think was perfect for him moving forward because they're going to have their test, which leads us into our next game. 49ers moving on. That was 49ers 19, Cowboys 12. What a dud of a game. I mean, I get it. Both defenses are good, but it wasn't like they were making highlight plays left and right on defense. It was just kind of like a meh football game with high expectations, but Dallas.
It's the same old Dallas team every year. You know. I'm not gonna lie. I hate Cowboys fans. You know what they say every year?
It's our year.
It's our year. It's our year.
Dak's gonna take us all the way.
I'm tired of hearing that.
Yeah, me too. But at the same time, I love hearing it because I know they're just lying through their teeth, and they know they're lying through their teeth. But it's just like they have to say it because they're the Cowboys. But at the same time, you've got all the money in the world. How are you not better than what you are? It blows my mind that they've now won 4 playoff games since 1998. Since 1998, the Dallas Cowboys have won 4 playoff games. They have not made it to an NFC championship game since 1993. So in all of our lifetimes, we've never seen a Cowboys player in a NFC championship game, which is wild.
And the only reason why they got past the first round was because the Buccaneers suck.
Yeah. Yeah. And it blows my mind. And keep in mind, '93 when they did go and win the AFC. They won the AFC Championship game. They ended up winning the Super Bowl, but they haven't been back to an AFC Championship game since '93. Which you're paying Dak a lot of money. You're paying Zeke a lot of money. You're paying that offensive line a lot of money.
You're gonna have to pay Pollard a lot of money.
Oh yeah, he was a free agent. I forgot.
Yeah.
Because Pollard's been amazing. He's been better than Zeke this year.
Hopefully he recovers quick from his injury, but
I don't think it's going to be a major.
I hope not.
I don't think it's going to.
I hope not. So, yeah, I mean, if you're the Cowboys, do you throw a parade because you won a playoff game? I mean, that's only their fourth playoff. Joe Burrow has more playoff wins than the Cowboys do since 1998.
Trevor Lawrence does too.
Let that sink
in. No, Trevor Lawrence does in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Or he has the same amount.
I mean, it's insane that they just cannot figure it out. But it just blows my mind.
I think it's the quarterback situation. Dak is.
So let me ask you this, Jalen: is it time to move on from Dak?
I mean, they can't. He has a big contract. It was like.
Could they trade him? Or are they just kind of stuck with him?
Yeah, I say they're stuck with him for right now.
Yeah, they are stuck with him. Maybe if they can try and cut him.
So
or
then,
what if they do some shocker deal and they trade Dak for Aaron Rodgers?
To me, I've been
that would be funny.
Or Derek Carr.
To me, I've been trolling around.
Why not?
I've been trolling around. I was like, Cooper Rush is better than Dak, but I've just been messing around.
At times, though, he's kind of looked like.
That's what I'm saying. He came in the beginning of the year and got the Cowboys offense to start going.
Dak is just too inconsistent. That's the problem. Like he's just too. Whenever you
don't know what you're gonna get.
Whenever he's like at the best, he's pretty. He's like good. He's a top 10, almost top 5.
Yeah.
But when he's the worst, he's just so bad.
Yeah.
You can tell what was killing their momentum. The interceptions. Yeah. That was killing their momentum.
Every time they kind of put together a drive.
He throws a punch. And he throws a bunch of picks during the regular season, too.
Yeah. It was crazy because as bad as, the Cowboys looked, they were in this game till the end. And then that last play happened. You put Zeke at center.
I know.
I get the play idea of trying to get it out and then have blockers downfield. But what on earth,
bro? Zeke.
What on earth are
and then
they?
It didn't even work. It didn't even work.
The pass goes out wide, and the what was it, Turney or Thule, whatever his name was, just got rocked as soon as he caught it, and it looked like he was supposed to pitch to Dak, who was supposed to give it to T.Y. Hilton, and had blockers out front, but. You got to get past point A before you can go C, D, E, F and into the end zone.
I don't understand. Like you might as well just Hail Mary it. That play just barely ever works. Like just might as well just Hail Mary it.
Yeah. Remind me of the Colts when they played the Patriots.
When they did that fake punt or whatever.
Yeah. They put all their guys on the sideline. There was like 2 guys or 1 guy on the end.
I remember.
I want to go back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
But it was really a defensive game.
It really was.
2 good defenses. I mean, it was really a defensive game.
To your point, Dallas defense kind of really kept them in that game, and I think they struggled in the middle of the year with their defense, but it showed up in that game. Now, if Dak has a little bit better game and can complete a couple more passes, it wasn't like, the score 19-12. It wasn't like San Francisco dominated all game. It was a game all game to where 1 touchdown here or there. It's a completely different story, and maybe we're talking about, can Dak win a Super Bowl? Which kind of leads me to my next question. I'll ask you, Ashton. Can Dak win a Super Bowl? Is he a good enough quarterback to lead a team to a Super Bowl, or is this the ceiling for him? Is he just going to be known as one of those guys who's good but can never get the true job done?
Yeah, I don't see why he could win a Super Bowl. He's never really proven that he could. Like, you look at that team. That team is that offense is really good.
What more do you need?
They have a great O-line.
They have a good old
maybe another wide receiver.
Yeah, they have a good old. But they got C.D. Lamb, who's been amazing. They got T.Y. Hilton, who's been actually kind of been doing shockingly well. Yeah. Like they got a lot of
Schultz as a tight end.
Yeah,
serviceable tight end.
What more could they really want?
Yeah.
What more could they ask for?
Yeah, I agree.
I would say if they traded for Tyreek Hill, I don't think this result would be any different.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I think just his ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Dak. He's not a. Yeah, I don't think he can make it to the Super Bowl.
If you're talking about how big the Cowboys franchise is, and it's the biggest franchise in America. I think it's the biggest franchise in the world.
In the world, probably sports wise.
Yeah. Dak is not a Cowboys quarterback. He's not.
Are there any guys out there in the league right now that you would consider a Cowboys quarterback? If you could swap any 2 quarterbacks, pick one up and put him on the Cowboys, who you putting on the Cowboys?
Josh Allen. He's like a pitcher perfect.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
He's like a pitcher perfect Cowboys.
I've just pigeonholed him into Buffalo because I think he's a great fit in Buffalo, their kind of style, but I could see that.
And then Trevor Lawrence is also, I could see Trevor Lawrence as a Cowboy. But I would also, if we're going to the draft, not this year, but next year, Drake May is like he's a pitcher. He's like, if you look up Cowboy, like Drake May should pop up. Like he's pitcher perfect.
I'm seeing just more of a coaching staff for that last play. That Mike McCarthy, that play call.
Is he on the hot seat?
I saw some Jerry Jones said he's not really, but
he says that all the time.
Yeah. Cool. He just cools the media down. He does what he wants to do in the offseason.
It is looking like it. That was a terrible play call.
Yeah. And, those are always supposed to set up and be something, but like we said, you got to complete part A before you move on.
Dude, Zeke,
he got trucked.
I think next year is going to be Mike's last year. Yeah. Or it's going to be his last chance.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think the same thing with like the Chargers. So like those are two very valuable openings that are going to be open.
I was going to say those would be highly sought after jobs.
Hopefully Ben doesn't go anywhere there.
I don't see Ben. I see he wait till Andy retires and probably take over the head coaching job.
Well, it depends if he wants to, because he's also on the older side too.
So that was our NFC Divisional Round breakdown. We had the Eagles winning 38-7 over the Giants, and then we had San Francisco taking care of business against the Cowboys 19-12. So we will have a 1 versus 2 matchup, Eagles versus 49ers in the NFC Championship. If you'd like to hear our thoughts on the NFC Championship and what to expect out of that game, check out our next video. We will preview both the NFC, AFC Championship games, as well as do our weekly pick'em, which, a little side note, both of you went 4-0 this week. Props to you.
We did what we did.
You're now in the lead. We will have those standings next show, by the way.
I'm undefeated in the playoffs.
You better knock on wood right now. There we go.
Hey, I said it last week, and
That is true. You did say I've got a good chance going 4-0 this week again. So, and job well done. I needed something. I needed to change up something, and I picked the wrong teams to change up on.
I would say I'm definitely excited about this preview episode. These are two great games that I'm excited to preview and talk about.
And we will break everything down in that next episode, so be sure to check that out. Let's jump to our AFC. Do we want to do Chiefs first, or should we do the Bills?
We'll do the
Bengals.
Which one do you want?
Jalen, honor's yours. What do you want to do?
Let's go with our Chiefs.
Okay,
man.
you know what to do then. Go ahead.
How
Give
about
the fans.
those?
Baby, how about those?
The Chiefs survive 27-20. You have the Mahomes injury, but let's highlight some stats first. Pacheco, great game from him. 12 carries, 98 yards. He had that monster run with Henne in. And then Travis Kelce does Travis Kelce things. 14 receptions, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It felt like Kelce kind of put the team on his back there. With the Mahomes injury, he said, okay, give me the ball. I'll go score.
I've kind of been hiding to say this, but Kelce's greatest Chiefs tight end ever.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the numbers.
He'll 100% finish his career as the best, but right now I think he's best now.
My only problem is he's got about 5,000 yards to catch Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Gonzalez
yard-wise, but Kelce's so clutch.
Yeah,
he's so clutch.
That is true.
Gets a bunch of touchdowns.
You see, he could pass. He could be second in yards for like playoffs.
Okay. Mahomes and Henne continue to spread the ball out, and yes, I said Henne because he did get in the game. If you didn't see it, move out of Kansas City because everybody in Kansas City was watching that game. 9 different Chiefs caught a pass this game, and shout out to Trevor Lawrence, 217 yards, a touchdown. He did have that costly interception. He got it done with his feet too. I think a little over 30 rushing yards, but they were quality rushing yards. He scrambled when he needed to, picked up a couple first downs for Jacksonville. But the main story, Mahomes goes down with the ankle injury late in the first quarter. He was able to stay in for a minute. I know we called like a 30-second timeout. He's trying to get his ankle taped, had to hobble back out there. He didn't look great.
I don't think it was a 2-minute warning, and he went
he went to the sideline?
Yeah.
So and even when he came back in, they ran a couple handoffs, and honestly, he was hopping to get the ball back. That worried me at first. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was. And then they showed him frustrated when they said, we're going to sit you out for He sat out the whole second quarter, correct? Pretty sure.
Yeah.
So he sat out the second quarter, got his treatment.
And then I think he was out a little bit in the third, just a little bit.
I think he came straight back out.
He came straight back out.
He came straight back out.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
I can't exactly remember.
But then, the second quarter magic and Chad Henne. That's what he gets paid to do. He gets paid to be Mahomes' backup. And in times where he needs to step in, he gets the job done. It eerily reminded me, this whole game reminded me of the playoff game against Cleveland. It was kind of weather, kind of spitting.
You know what really reminded me of that was like the first play they had of him when they had him roll out and then throw it. So I think it was Kadarius.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was the same
play as the Hill play.
Yeah. It was like a little flashback, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, this is exactly what we saw against Cleveland. And in the Cleveland game, he makes that huge run where he's diving for the first down. Obviously, he doesn't get it, and then everybody goes crazy because Roma's like, no way they're going to snap the ball here. And then they run that little rollout. Tyreek catches it, sits down. We win the game. Chad Henne.
I love that comment. This is absolutely not a snap.
Yeah.
They
are not going to snap this ball right now. Oh my goodness. They snapped it. First down. And so the defense does its job while Mahomes is out. And then I'm going to run this back. Jacksonville punts. The ball's down on the 2-yard line, and I'm thinking to myself, Henne's got to go 98 yards. I'm like, this could be a huge turning point. We go 3 and out here. Jacksonville just flipped the field. They're going to be right back in this game. But the man, Chad Henne himself, goes 5 of 7 on that drive, 23 yards, throws the touchdown to Kelsey, gets help from the run game. But again, your backup quarterback comes in a playoff game and throws 5 of 7.
I was thinking the same way too until I was like, hold on. 2 years ago, we played the Cleveland Browns. Like, hold on, let me hold on. I'm gonna put my trust in Chad Henne real quick, and then I have him like, okay.
And it's crazy because he had that one pass over the middle that got tipped that almost got intercepted. I mean, it was up in the air. Other than that, he looked calm, he looked cool, he looked collected, which is awesome to see from a backup. Because if I'm a backup, and I don't expect to play in a playoff game if Mahomes is in front of me. You got to be scared shitless almost if you think. But he looks so confident, and I just say props to him, props to Andy Reid. I feel like Andy knew Chad's skill set and didn't put him in any situations where he would feel uncomfortable. I mean, it was run heavy. It was a lot of play action. We didn't ask him to scramble much. It was what Chad was comfortable with, and it worked. Mm-hmm. And we needed a touchdown. He scored us a touchdown, drove us down the field, that capped off by that Pacheco long run, which, man, he hurts the ground when he runs, and he is quick.
He took off.
He is scary quick.
He acts like he hates like the ground did something to him.
It's just like so hard.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I saw a tweet though. It was like the tweet was like Pacheco remind. Let me rephrase that. Let me think about what it said. It was like Pacheco reminds me of that kid in gym class who's the fastest one in there, but makes those noises when they run.
Oh,
goes,
yeah.
Every time. And then after I saw that tweet, every time I see Pacheco run, I can just think he just runs down the field.
I saw Kalen Sanders tweeted that too. He said something about when he runs, he makes the noise.
So props to the rookie and our young guys on the defense stepping up as well. Watson with the crucial interception, one-handed too. I mean,
that was a great pick. He comes up with so many big picks.
Yeah.
The Chargers game is obviously because he scored on that and won us the game.
And I think that's what's really making our defense good this year is they'll give up plays, which every defense does.
They're rookies.
But, yeah, they're rookies. They're going to make mistakes, sure. But when we need them to make a big play, I feel like this year they've been able to make those big plays. In years past, it's been a lot of broken down coverage, and we don't make those plays.
Since we don't have a whole lot of holes on the on the team, I would love not like first, second, third round, but like late round, like 6th, 7th. I would love to go get another corner because corner class is kind of deep this year, so I would love to go get another corner or a safety.
And it worked out last year. 7th round pick Pacheco and 7th round pick Watson.
Yeah,
it's proven.
Williams was a 6th round pick, I think.
Yeah,
6th or 5th.
So much people hate on our defense, but I'm actually starting to like. I'm like, why hate?
Yeah, it's a young group. They're learning, and these guys are going to be around. And the more exposure they have, the better they're going to get. And
we're probably like
just getting better and better.
We're probably like the youngest group.
Yeah, I would say I'm a little questionable about our safeties. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
Thornhill's just a little.
Yeah.
He made a couple of good plays. There was that one he should have picked that off. I don't know why he didn't catch that.
And then the big play to Christian Kirk but he dropped it. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. I feel like there's still times where Thornhill and a couple of those young guys kind of fall asleep for a play.
It was Justin
that's when
Reed
they get
and
exposed.
Thornhill.
Yep.
Both.
Kinda
I don't
get
know. It was
blown right by.
Yeah.
I was so happy when we got Reed in the offseason.
He's a good player.
I think he's good for the run fit.
Yeah, most definitely. Jalen, I'm going to ask you this. Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good. They didn't come out victorious, but what's your outlook for this Jags team moving forward? They're young. Do you see them as a contender? Is this the next matchup? I know everybody talks about, we're going to see Mahomes and Allen year after year in the playoffs. Could the Jags kind of enter that mix?
Yeah, I say yeah, because they turned it around like middle of the season. I say they're probably right back in the same spot where they were, probably playing us again.
Yeah.
Never know. So I'm saying they're gonna be back in the same spot.
Trevor Lawrence himself, I think, really turned it up the second half of the year, and he looked like that to be in that conversation with Allen and Burrow and Mahomes coming up in these next couple of years.
I think he has a really good coach coaching him, Doug Peterson. He came from being coached by Andy Reid, so he has a really good.
I think it's going to be mainly like Jaguars, Bills, or Lawrence Allen, because I feel like us and the Bengals, I feel like we're just going to get the top 2 seeds for ever.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of us.
That's what it feels like, honestly. Interesting fact too. I was just kind of digging around Jacksonville's roster and looking at that. They've got another wide receiver in their room who didn't play this year. He was suspended.
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
They've got another speed dude in Calvin Ridley. That's going to be a dangerous wide receiver.
But he's a wide receiver 1.
Yes.
He's a straight wide receiver 1. They didn't have
and he
have
proved
that
in
this year.
Atlanta with Julio gone, he can handle that workload of
scary.
10, 12 catches a game, and he's good enough to be open to catch the ball 10 or 12 times a game. So watch out for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're going to be a team to watch. And like we said, it wouldn't surprise me if the top 4 teams in the AFC for the next couple of years are the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, and the Jags.
And the only thing they had to trade for Calvin was a 2025 5th-round pick this year,
it's chump
which
change.
is crazy.
Yeah,
because this is a guy that if you talk about drafting a guy in the 5th round this year is not going to have the same impact next year as Calvin Ridley. Yeah, probably. Because Calvin Ridley is a great wide receiver.
That receiving crew is going to be something different.
It's going to be something different. So, again, that was Chiefs 27, Jags 24. Mahomes does re-enter the game. Doesn't look himself, kind of more in the pocket, but is able to get the job done.
The jump throws.
The jump throws. The defense coming away with a big
that
interception.
One sidearm was really nice.
Oh, where he kind of held it, too.
Yeah.
He was just like, I got
Juju,
you.
the RPO. Yeah.
The backside angle of that, too. I mean, when he threw that, Juju was completely behind that guy. He just knew, I'm going to keep going. I think there's an intercom or something.
Oh, okay.
You can tell it hurt it so bad because he can even plant to throw. Because the short pass to Kadarius Toney, he missed it bad.
So hopefully Mahomes is all right. And again, we're going to break down kind of what the Chiefs look like moving forward in our next show. Like we've already said, check out that next show because we'll have full of kind of what to expect from the Chiefs as they face up against the Bengals. Speaking of the Bengals, they go into Orchard Park. They come out victorious 27-10 over the Bills. Burrow throws for 242 yards and 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon had 20 rushes and kind of a quiet 105 yards. I mean, he ripped off a couple big chunk plays, but really he was just kind of a ground and pound all game. Josh Allen throws for 265 and an interception. My question, I'll start with Ash and then we'll go over to Jalen. Did the Bengals play that good or did the Bills play that bad? Or was it kind of a mix of both?
Mix of both because, like I was kind of talking about, the Bengals, the original Bengals-Bills game when the DeMar Hamlin situation happened, that this would have happened. This was what was going to happen.
Yeah.
If that situation did not happen.
Yeah.
So I say it's a bit of both, but also I just think that the Bengals just simply are better than the Bills.
Yeah.
But it's like, they were going to beat the Bills that Monday night. They beat the Bills today or Sunday. And it's like, the Chiefs have never been able to beat them. So it's like the Bengals are such a weird team because, like, you expect them to be undefeated with all these teams they can beat, and like these teams that haven't been able to beat them, but like they lose 4 games because they lose like some stupid games throughout the regular season.
It's that receiving core. Like, what do you do? Like,
It's
to me, I don't know. As a defensive coordinator, like, what would you do? Do you man up? See, when I'm saying like for Sunday, I see what we do: man up T. Higgins, and then you have somebody over the top for like Jamar Chase. But I see I'm not a deep coordinator for no. That's what I'm like.
And then
there's always that kind of one extra guy.
Yeah,
get Tyler Boyd, then what about Hayden Hurst?
Yeah, like,
and then you cut them off. But what about the Joe Mixon coming out the backfield? They're just too good.
So Jalen, here's my question for you. You know, Joe Burrow's entering that level of eliteness that we've seen Mahomes kind of own for the last 5 years. I'm not saying he's better than Mahomes. I think he's a quarterback that can get his team to Super Bowls just like Mahomes can. 100% Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league.
To me, they're two different quarterbacks. There's a pocket QB, and Mahomes can run around.
Yeah.
He can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So
I couldn't compare them.
With Burrow kind of playing how he's playing, what kind of money do you think Burrow gets in the offseason? They got to pay him.
I say a 5-year deal. 5-year deal, 250. Or
however many years he wants.
However
many years he wants.
What was Mahomes? 10 years for
500,
$500 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll get.
But they cut it so for like cap space, so he's probably getting like 20.
But I don't think he'll get a contract this year. I think it'll be next year. I think, or would it be this year? Because he got drafted in 2020.
2020. Yeah, next year.
It'd be
I thought they had to pay him this year for some reason. I may be off.
They don't have to, but they can.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, they'll definitely try to, but I don't think it's like they don't necessarily have to.
So then, does he sign for over under 5 years?
Over.
I'd
say like a 6-7 year deal.
6 or 7 years.
I think quarterbacks are going to start getting like baseball deals.
See, and I was thinking, do they keep
elite quarterbacks?
So I say, do they keep Tyler Boyd or?
Well, T. Higgins is also his contract's coming. I think his contract's up this summer or next summer.
Depends where they want to put their money.
Yeah, they're gonna focus on T. Higgins or Jamar Chase. Or Jamar Chase is gonna have to get a ton too.
He's gonna have to get a ton. I would wager that Jamar Chase. I would rather have Jamar Chase over Justin Jefferson any day. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No,
Justin Jefferson's my favorite wide receiver. I don't know about all that. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Tell me
you imagine Justin Jefferson in Kansas City. He would be.
Could you imagine Jamar Chase in Kansas City? Tell me a time
Justin Jefferson would be better.
Is not open.
Justin Jefferson would be better.
Tell me a time Jamar Chase is not open.
Jamar Chase is not Justin Jefferson.
I mean, it's because it's a one-man show in Minnesota, but when you have like.
When you have T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst.
I mean, when you know where the ball is going, of course you're going to go to Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase is not Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is just different.
Like Justin Jefferson, like his route running is so smooth.
It's so smooth. He makes it look so easy.
It was easy. It was the one play where they were playing the Vikings. He was down. They was like at the goal line, and he did like a in route and out. And it was against Pat Pete. It was like
his agility is like leaps above Jamar's.
All right, fair enough. I got some.
I see
heat over here for saying Chase is better than Jefferson. Both of you attacking me.
Joe Burrow, he has a lot of trust in his wide receivers too.
He does.
Dude,
And
he just throws He just throws goal balls.
He's played with Jamar for what was it, like
8 years now?
Yeah, 8 years.
The last kind of touch up on this one I have. This is Bengals Bills. Diggs looked very frustrated at the end of this game. Did you guys see the clip of him kind of yelling at Allen on the sideline, asking for the ball? And rightfully so. Your season's on the line. You're the best wide receiver on your team, and I feel like Allen was off all day. He wasn't hitting his throws.
He missed a possible
even on
touchdown. Catches
that Diggs would make, they'd be lower to the side, and you could see him yelling at him like, "Hey, like hit me in the hands so I can run off of this thing." It was also reported that Diggs left the locker room before coaches were even there. A teammate had to chase him down the tunnel, brought him back for the team meeting, and then shortly after the team meeting, he kind of just grabbed his stuff and left. Is this, you think, just Diggs being frustrated at the moment, or is this going to turn into something bigger over the offseason where he may not be in Buffalo anymore?
I think he's just frustrated in a moment because I guess he's just tired of losing.
I say rightfully so. I bet he's tired of losing.
3 years in a row.
I think it's gonna be a bit of both, honestly. I think because Allen's gonna have to get a contract soon. Or wait, did he? He already got a contract.
I think he did.
But they're gonna have to, since they've shown that team's not complete. They still got to add.
Yeah.
So maybe the rest of that receiver core is good. So maybe they trade just Stephon, get like an early draft pick or something, draft a receiver for cheaper. So that way they can add more pieces that they think they need.
Yeah.
And Stephon kind of the one that has to bite the bullet.
Yeah. No. It'll be interesting to see, whether it was just kind of after game frustration or if there's something more hidden in there in Buffalo, and see what that team looks like come next year. Because, like you said, they're not complete. They're going to need some extra pieces to kind of battle. Because right now, I think the AFC is the top 2 teams are left, Chiefs and Bengals. And I think it's going to be like that for 3, 4, maybe 5 more years. I don't see anybody kind of competing with the Chiefs and the Bengals right now. And on the flip side, I think, really I know they're both, no, I guess the Cincinnati's the 3 seed. But the Eagles 49ers on the NFC side, I think those are the top 2 teams in the NFC as well. So I feel like the top 4 teams in NFL are left in the playoffs. You guys agree? Disagree? I just don't see anybody better than those 4.
Well, I'm just trying to think NFC-wise. AFC-wise, I agree.
NFC.
Eagles is definitely the best.
Do you think the Cowboys are up there?
You know me. The Lions are going to be back next season.
We haven't.
You're tripping.
A top 4?
You're tripping.
A top 4?
No, let me stop.
You're tripping.
All right. While we're on the Lions, how far are they making it next year, Jalen?
My bias says they're going to go to a championship round. No, let me stop. But I'm going to say wild card or divisional round, I'm going to say.
I agree.
Okay. I can see them in the divisional round.
If they can find a quarterback that just, take notes from Jared Goff and then start him that next season, then I say they have a good chance.
AR-15.
He's there. It wouldn't be a stretch to get him either, which I think fits in.
He's
perfectly.
got the most upside of any quarterback, and he's the youngest.
Yeah.
And also, but I would say the Eagles and the Niners are the best team. But the Niners, I think there's a couple other teams maybe you can make an argument for.
But as of now,
the
Niners,
think it's the Niners. I'm not too big on the offense. I'm big on the defense.
Same.
That defense,
that's the best. That's probably the best defense in football.
With the names they have on that offense, the offense underperforms way too often.
I think it's because Brock Purdy's a rookie and he not understanding.
I think it's because that system that Shanahan has is a quarterback friendly system, and almost any quarterback, if you can't do well in that system, you're not an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, it's a very low risk system for
quarterbacks.
I
think the problem is that Brock Purdy's good, but he's just not as talented as people think he is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's good. He's just not as talented. I'm a big Trey Lance guy. If Trey Lance was in this, I would say that the Niners are going to win.
Wow.
And I would
like to see what the kids got.
If Trey Lance was, this is a hot take, I guess, but if Trey Lance was playing this year, the Niners are the first seed.
Wow. Yeah.
I got a question. So you think Brock Purdy's still going to be starting next year, or
I think so.
Oh, you already answered.
I think just in the simple fact that they can afford to start him and they can let Lance fully recover. Because honestly, like you said, I think Lance is going to be good, and I think he just needs that full, complete time to recover. That way, there's no rush on him recovering and risk of re-injury. You let Brock Purdy do his thing for another year.
Wait, did they?
If that would happen, do you think Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo?
I was just finna say, did they sign Jimmy? Did he just get a recent contract?
You take Purdy?
I would take Purdy.
Jimmy?
I just think Jimmy, he's washed.
Did he just get a recent contract?
Would you trade Jimmy? Let me look.
If somebody can take him. If somebody will take Garoppolo,
someone would definitely trade. What
were you saying, Jalen?
He's finna look it up. Did Jimmy just get a recent contract? I'm not for sure.
I think so. I think it was like a 2-year or maybe a 1 year. Maybe it was a 1 year by the Niners, because it was odd contract talks there for a little bit. Yeah. As we look these up, remember
they're 7-0 with Brock
They
Purdy.
are 7-0. Those games next week, are they both on Sunday? Or is it Saturday?
Yeah, both Sunday.
Both on Sunday.
Eagles and 49ers first, then us and the Bengals.
Eagles, 49ers, then Chiefs, Bengals. And again, check out that next show for our preview. We'll have it full of our breakdown, our thoughts, our opinions on who's going to win that game and why. So again, check out that next show. That'll come out on Thursday.
I'm almost there. Why is it not showing?
I could have sworn he signed it.
Oh, I think he's a free agent.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have to.
Yeah, because they said Purdy was going to be their starter next year.
So would you bring him back? Would you just let him go?
No, I'd let him go.
They already got Trey Lance as a backup, so
yeah,
I'll just
let him go.
Yeah. Well, but Trey Lance wouldn't be playing. So would you? I'm saying would you try and re-sign him and say, all right, you're going to compete with Brock in training camp, and if whoever wins gets the starting job, and say whoever loses, you either trade or cut.
Nah, I say just get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and let Trey Lance and Brock,
don't even give him an opportunity.
No,
I think
no.
I say let Trey Lance and Brock go at it in the offseason and see who can start to be the quarterback.
But I'm saying Trey's probably not going to be able to compete.
I think then you sign a backup quarterback for nothing.
But Jimmy Garoppolo, you could probably get for nothing.
Done with him.
All right.
I don't think you put the controversy in there, knowing that you
fair.
have Trey Lance in waiting. I think you say, okay, it's Brock's job until Lance gets back, and then we'll see from there.
But like, what if you're as a coach or you're a GM trying to sell it? If you start and you play well enough, then you can get the starting job over Trey, and say and then we'll trade Trey because
I can see that
you earned the starting job, and they'll kind of talk to them too about that.
I can see that, but I think you give as much confidence in Purdy going in. If Trey Lance is not ready, you give all the confidence in the world to Trey to
because
Purdy.
I'm like full Trey Lance. I'm full Trey Lance. I'm a big.
I drafted him this year in fantasy, thinking he'd do big things.
I did too, and then
and then that happened.
Yeah.
So again, that was our NFC and AFC wrap up with a little sidebar conversation there about potential landing spots for quarterbacks and who's going to be where, and a little Chiefs talk. So. You get a little bonus action there.
You want to continue that? I say throw in a guy, Jalen Ramsey. It's a lot of rumors coming out that he's going to be.
Is he a free agent this year?
No, he's going to be traded. He's going to be moved on.
Oh, that's going to be big for the Rams. I don't see them.
The problem though is they're going to want so many pieces for that.
Well, but the problem is what I'm saying is because they want to do it because they're kind of rebuilding.
Yeah.
They don't have any draft picks.
They don't have another top corner though. That's going to be the.
They don't, but Jalen Ramsey hasn't been amazing this year.
Yeah.
So it's like,
now's the time.
Why would you? Yeah. This is the peak. I mean, really, this is the peak when you want to trade him. This is going to be this offseason.
Let me see how old he is.
He's about 28, 29. Oh, maybe 27.
Yeah, because I think if you're going to go into a full rebuild,
28.
I say Try to see what
corners can play to like 32, 33.
I say like the Tyreek Hill situation. I say put him up on the market and see what you can get.
See what you can get. You don't have to trade him, but see what you can get. Mm-hmm. The problem is, I think the Rams are going to want a lot for Jalen Ramsey. I don't think a lot. They're not going to get.
They're not going to want a lot because they won't be able to get a lot. They know that they won't be able to get a lot.
So maybe somebody can pick him up as a steal. I wouldn't mind him.
I think the most they're going to get is a single first-round pick. That's it. That's the ceiling they're going to get is a single first-round pick.
Yep. Our last segment for this show, again, we're splitting these up, giving you a little shorter shows, but more throughout the week, is our 3 biggest takeaways. Jalen, you want to start us off? What were your 3 biggest takeaways from the weekend?
Mine had to been the Cowboys and 49ers game. Like, you see the Cowboys every year, they choke either the divisional round or the wild card.
It's like clockwork.
Yeah, but I'm saying Dak is the issue. 2 interceptions in the first half. That is bad. Yeah. Against a really good defense, that's bad, and that's why I was saying it killed their momentum. Mm-hmm. That's how the 49ers was. I mean, at one point the Cowboys had the lead, then the 49ers start gaining their momentum because the interceptions and the turnovers. That's what really helped the 49ers. That's my biggest takeaway though.
There you go. Ashton, what about you? What were your 3 biggest takeaways? Give me all 3.
He talked about the Dak. That was one of mine. Yeah. I start to have doubts about about Dak, and this is on Niners. 49ers, they don't seem to be doing well against like really good defenses, and that's a question mark going into next week against a really good defense. Mm-hmm. And then this is kind of a hot take. But Josh Allen is not as elite. He is elite, but he's not as elite as people think he is. I agree. He's only went to one AFC Championship game and he lost, and that was during the COVID year.
Yeah.
And but other than that, he's never been to an AFC Championship game besides that game.
Yeah.
And he's lost in the divisional round 2 years in a row.
I agree.
To who?
I saw you type that in, and I was just like, yeah.
And he had a terrible playoff this. I mean, overall, he had a terrible playoffs this year. Like for what he should have done, he had a terrible playoff. Yep. Oh yeah, and then bonus, I'm the playoff king, or the playoff pick'em king.
Playoff pick'em king going. Is it 10-0 now? Because there were 6 games last week. 6-0 and then 4-0, so 10-0 in the playoffs. My 3 biggest takeaways. Starting off, the Eagles look like the most complete team of the weekend. they just look dominant. My second one, the Chiefs, and then more so Patrick Mahomes himself has his gutsiest win of his career. He hasn't faced a lot of adversity. Sure, we've been down in big games, but he hasn't had to play hurt and win a game hurt like he was today. I think the closest
Sunday.
Yes, I think the closest to that was the Super Bowl we lost, and he just didn't live up to it. The turf toe. But I think
he didn't have an offensive line. They just let everyone go by.
That is true. So yes, Mahomes wins his gutsiest game of his career, and then the last one is Joe Burrow should be getting paid this offseason and fat stacks for what he's done in Cincinnati and where he's taken this team. And like we talked about, I think it's going to be Chiefs Bengals for the foreseeable future, battling it out to go to the Super Bowl.
Joe, I just can't imagine Joe Burrow anywhere else besides Cincinnati.
Yeah,
besides Cincinnati or Green Bay is like the only other team I could see Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
I can see him. I can see him. Yeah, exactly. That's like I can barely kind of see him, but Cincinnati is the only place I see him. So I hope they kind of get it settled, and they will. It'll be their top priority.
Yeah. Again, that was our kind of AFC, NFC college basketball recap show. Check us out on all 3 platforms, YouTube, Twitter, and then gonorthman.org/podcast. That's all we have for you today. Again, make sure to check out that video Thursday.
I want to add a bonus.
You want to add a bonus? What do you got?
Let's talk about the Patrick Mahomes situation.
What about it?
What?
Do we like I was talking to you about in class earlier? Do we put the brace on him and wrap it?
We can do that in the
or
preview.
Let Chad Henne like.
Let's save that for Thursday.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's give him a little nugget. So we're gonna dive deep into this Patrick Mahomes. What should we do with his ankle kind of for Thursday? So there's your little golden nugget, your little tease is we're gonna put on our stethoscopes and our lab coats and be Chiefs doctors on Thursday.
And we're not doctors, by the way.
And we're nowhere near doctors. So again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. It's always great to gain followers here on Fifth Box Sports. Take it away.
Ashton.
Jalen.
And this has been Zach. We will see you again.